Rayman with Glackum. We have a $50 donation from Edward. Longtime watcher, first time having a bit of extra money to donate. A friend of mine lost her grandfather after a long battle last August, so here's to making sure nobody else has to go through such devastation. Good luck to all the runners and put this towards announcer's choice. Thanks for everyone's hard work for such a great cause. The incentive I'm actually looking forward to would be Link to the Past swordless. So, chat, I know it's a bit of an early hour here at Games Done Quick, but what's the time like where you are? Okay, it's either Ohio o'clock or a lot of them are either very dedicated or in Europe. Um, Thank you so much to our European viewers. I wonder if this is how I'll feel when I'm watching ESA in the summer. So, can I get some hype for the Rayman run? I've tried to play this game like twice, and it goes about as well as you'd expect. But Glackum, as far as I've seen, is incredibly capable, and I think we're looking forward to a really great run here. So, a couple more incentives. I know I've been talking about them a lot, but there's a bunch of really great ones that we're looking at for the rest of the marathon. We have a language option for Dying Light, an all bosses run for Wizards and Warriors, and it looks like that we actually have an incentive that I'd like to see get met to do the turbo tunnel in Battletoads Blind. We have an anonymous $20 donation. I have watched Rayman speedruns on YouTube so many times, and I finally get to see it live. Also, thanks so much, chat, for all of the nice comments and all of Ohio's. I think those are directed at me. Caster can read chat? Show me you care. Notice me, senpai, so I know you're really there. I've noticed you. And thank you so much, Becky, from the German Restream, for saying that I'm the cutest cake. And it looks like we actually have a very exciting couch setup. Spike Vegeta has a mic. Not that he needs it. I have been asked to tell them to spam, pick your favorite emote and spam it for me. But if you get banned, it's not my fault. I would also pick Erica just because she does seem to be the popular choice. I'll admit that I don't know much about Fire Emblem, but I am excited to see that run later today. I love this rainbow of emotes we're getting here. I see some raise fire. I see lots of tryhards, which just the top tier emote. My favorite emote is actually Little Z. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm usually, hey guys, Lil Z. But oh my gosh, all of these are so cute. Can anyone else not believe it's only Tuesday? Just me? I'm actually looking forward to the Jack and Daxter run as well. I'm pretty hyped for Rayman, as I'm a huge fan of PS platformers. If I can speak this morning, my goodness. But the Jack and Daxter run is going to be on Friday morning. Don't miss it. We have a $5 donation from Captain Bob on sick leave from work, but AGDQ 2018 is on, so it's not bad at all. Donation goes to Announcer's Choice. Greetings from Sweden. If I can't choose Swedish chocolate, I'd like to choose Link to the Past Swordless. $10 from an anonymous donor. Rayman is one of my favorite childhood games. Good to see it destroyed. Go fast. Well, I've been asked to once again shout out that Harmony of Dissonance incentive from Adept Nightingale. We are less than $1,000 away. It looks like we're about $780 from hitting that goal. For a bonus any percent run in Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. My goodness, that one's a little hard to say. Okay, good news. We're ready for Rayman with Glackum. I'm going to throw it over there. Good luck, Glackum.
What is a PlayStation?
Right. Which model you got? Oh, hello. What's up, everyone?
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. We got it's Rayman time, everyone. Yeah, we got our runner right here on the couch. Introduce yourself, dude.
My name is Glackum. I play this game all the time. I'm ready for this. Practicing all day. I'm ready to roll. So I have my friend Jakku here
Hello.
and Glitch Cat,
Hi there.
and they are going to be on our quest to save
you.
the world from Mr. Dark.
He's done some dastardly things.
Yeah, he stole the Great Protoon and defeated Batilla the Fairy.
What is the Platoon?
It looks like a pretty hefty looking, those globes that kind of like electric.
Yeah, dude. I always wanted those in my room as a kid. My parents never got me one.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, cool. That's the story of Rayman, everyone. That's the abbreviated version.
That's all you need to know.
It's actually not even that abbreviated.
Like. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
Here we go. That's Mr. Dark right there. We're not going to see him till later.
Yeah, he just stares at you from afar.
Just
Makes
kinda-
things generally uncomfortable.
So yeah, this is Rayman for the PlayStation 1, the original adventure for our Limbless hero. So right off the bat here, you don't have a lot to work with. They start you off with just greatest sound effect in all of video gaming. But at starting off, all you can do is strut, because it's more than a walk, less than a run. It's a strut, ladies and gentlemen. He can do that and jump. He can also grab onto things. You can actually see right here, he grabs off the vine. And doing that, if you do it quickly and push yourself off, it actually pushes you forward a pixel or a few pixels. It saves just a little bit of time.
Like right here, it just like advances you a couple frames ahead. For whatever reason, if you can just hold down the jump button before you land on the vine.
And right here, we're getting our first of our 5 main power-ups. It might seem mundane, but somehow he gains the power-up to throw his fist in front of his face. We're learning how to punch. Which is very necessary to take out enemies and bosses throughout the game, but also to break the various Electoon cages throughout the run. There are 17 main levels in this game, building up to the final level, and in each of those 17 levels, there are going to be 6 cages with a bunch of Electoons in it. We get one right here, right in front of us, to introduce us to it. And we need to break all 102 of those, or we can't beat the game. Not most of them. The devs required you to get all of them. Now, right here, a mechanic you're seeing is that he's actually throwing his fist while he's airborne, and that causes it to actually deal double damage and also go further. For whatever reason, that's a mechanic in this game. So you're going to see him utilizing that jump punch or that aerial punch as much as possible. All the cages in this have 2 health. Nice jumping over that shot right there. Hitting this cage right as he's about to land. Otherwise, if he was standing on the ground, he would have had to punch it twice.
Yeah, they have 2 HP. Most things have more than 2 HP in this game, so jump punching basically kills everything whenever you need them to be dead. We didn't get 3 of the cages in this because we didn't have punch on the other 3, which were on the previous screen before we got the power to punch. We're going to be going back to at least 3 out of 4 of the Dream Forest stages in this. We're going to be getting all 6 on the next stage, not the others.
Carrying the jump punch of that, not just breaking the cage, but going over as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
close.
Try to go for a tap left or a tap right at the last second to knock yourself backwards. Not a big deal, obviously, here early on.
I was actually trying to jump straight over him.
Oh, you were actually trying to clear. You're
Yeah.
trying to get the 100 jump. You told me you weren't going to go for that, man. We went over
Man,
this, dude.
You got to do this.
You're screwing up my commentary. Come on, dude. Make me look
I'm
bad.
doing it.
All right, so these mosquito fights we got right here. What you want to do is, whenever you punch him, you'll see he's going to move to that top middle part of the screen. So you're not going to just punch him instantly all the time. You're actually going to let him drag a little bit closer. Because as you can see, this animation of him getting up there is very, very slow. This last hit can be pretty tricky.
There you go.
Nice. Wanted to make sure he was basically right on top of the mosquito before he punched him. Otherwise, he likes to juke you. Also, nice little warp across the screen. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, if you crouch during those,
Oh,
you
it
can't.
won't.
Otherwise, you lose control, and it just makes you stand right there.
Things you learn every day.
Now they're best friends.
Yeah, so I don't know what this tells you about friendship, but
You gotta beat someone up first before they can become your friend, right?
and they're like, oh, hell yeah, dude, let's go on an adventure.
It's a pretty important adventure because I can't swim in this game.
Yes.
Rayman 1 can't swim. Rayman in Rayman 2 can with oxygen. Rayman 3 can do it without oxygen and can do somersaults. That's important.
Yeah, Rayman, just for whatever reason, he's not very used to water. It's actually kind of an interesting screen because you might think like, oh, it's the slow auto scroller. It's actually, it will scroll the screen slower and faster depending on when you, Rayman and Mosquito, actually hit triggers like lines on the screen. So you see him actually moving back to try to stay away from those triggers that make it slower, and then moving up to the front of the screen to hit those triggers sooner that will make it go faster. So you're elongating the sections where it's fast, and you are shortening the sections where it's slow. Pretty interesting, and it saves quite a few seconds.
There's actually like 2 trigger points at the end. One that slows it down, and then
Yes.
one that breaks the auto scroll completely. So you have to be in a specific spot to move forward and not get hit by the camera.
People always think right here, this is the second power up. This is power to hang
Double jump.
from ledges. Yes, it's a double jump. Is what it looks like.
See?
Yeah.
Nobody hung.
It looks. It was like, oh, that's cool. He got a double jump. Nah, it's much more mundane than that. You could just grab onto a ledge, which is odd because you could hang from things. Or
So
you could grab
it branches out here.
Yeah.
Bongo Hills, if you go into Bongo Hills now, you won't have the power to grab rings. We would otherwise have to go through this all over again, Bongo Hills all over again. And then the next, like 2 stages out, you can't even, get through Twilight Gulch without the power to hang,
Right.
grab rings anyway. So we go naturally to the left to avoid that, so we can't get the power to hover yet.
I would think you'd have to get the power to hang before you could hang out with your mosquito friend.
No doubt. We've got, this is, well, again, the first of 2 branching paths. I thought it was good. I liked it. We got an auto-scroller here. Super cool music. Love the soundtrack in this game. But it's one of the few auto-scrollers that's pretty legit, just an auto-scroller. So, April, if you want to go ahead and read a few donations, it's probably a good time.
Absolutely. We have $5 from Grizzly Zen, donating from my boy Glackum, and don't forget to flip it to the limit. Best of luck from San Diego. $5 from Game Boy 736. Hey Glackum, good luck for your run. I don't know if I already wished you a Happy New Year, so here you go. Also have fun everyone, and good luck to the rest of the runners as well. We have a $50 anonymous poem. Jackets are red, glitchclats are green. Oh my goodness, I can't say poems. But
Green.
Glackum wrecks Rayman from what I have seen.
That was a sick poem, I'm not going to lie. So this is the first really difficult screen in the run. Having to land on those little ledges to stand with the enemy. And then take that damage boost and actually hit the plum from the right side. And this will naturally load it on. There used to be old strats where we'd use that plum that's on screen right now in the middle. Instead, we're going to use it here. Punch that plum from the top. This is going to allow us to catch this cycle for the plum one earlier and also make it a lot safer.
Those
Yeah,
plums are
it's
sweet.
just like right there.
Nice. You just walk right off of it. So that was actually a really well executed
Yeah,
screen.
really sweet plum.
Very easy to take a death there. Especially even right there at the beginning. So this is a mechanic of the game that we should probably explain. So you might notice, like, why are these things just spawning seemingly out of nowhere? All sorts of objects in this game, whether it's one of the cages that you need to break, enemies, platforms that you need. Yeah, they spawn once you hit these random, and they're not actually random, but they're seemingly random triggers just on the screen, invisible triggers. He makes sure to walk off of that to catch those vines and punching that last cage in the air as he's about to hit. But yeah, he has to just know where all of those are. Obviously, we've been speedrunning it, but casually that can be extremely frustrating when you have to find all 102 cages to beat this game at all, and they hide them in ways like that. So
I like to call it quirky.
That's a really nice word for the devs for that one. But yeah, anyone who's played it, yeah, this game can be a little challenging, a little difficult. And the speedrun definitely gets even further in that direction. Lots of really cool, difficult strategies that the Rayman community's put in over the years. Also, thank you for showing off that animation. That is a power-up. That's a power-up. No, you can actually get that from the start. Sorry.
Yeah, that's one you don't have to unlock.
Press circle. You can do that. It's pretty cool. It doesn't do much. So here we got a plum skip.
What am I doing?
I gotta go ahead and take this. Bit of a safety again. He can't swim. He's gonna jump off the plum at a certain time here to actually lift him up, because if you're on top of the plum, it naturally doesn't go as far. Yep, made sure so you can see him jumping off of it to try to allow it to push him forward a little further each time.
Yeah, it's pretty uncontrollable. I try to keep on it as long as I can, because if you get a high bounce, like every time it bounces, it loses some height. So if I want to get a high bounce, you don't stand on it when it hits the ground, and that makes it faster.
Pretty scary strat right here. He wants to just spawn this cage, and now he's gonna have to make sure he goes really fast to catch these cycles of these platforms. And you see it kind of pushes him forward a little bit. He walks even a little bit off of it. Ooh, okay, yeah. So that would have been, if he had completely done it correctly, he could have caught that last lily pad. Not a big deal, just wasted a few seconds there, that early cycle. This is a screen that is actually also very perilous. Because we don't have the run ability yet, it gets a lot scarier. Taking that damage boost to set himself up a little bit better.
Yeah, you can't really call this a speed run until you unlock that ability.
Mm-hmm. But again, lots of cool strategies they had to work around that. You're going to see him actually turn to the left right here. And that's actually going to manipulate this camera cycle to catch this plum right here. And now, usually on this little section, people will find some way. It's too early for this, my Lanta. These are, that's some pretty manly cycles that he goes for right there. Usually people will stop just a little bit more. We'll see how this looks.
Okay, goodness.
Okay, yeah.
You can jump through that platform right above me to the right here.
Yeah,
if you punch it at the same time as it's dropping down, assuming you're close enough.
Right. There's a lot of just, especially when you go up through angles, you can jump through a lot of platforms. But plums, I mean, the way they fall, it's not actual RNG, obviously, but it's almost like practical RNG, I call it, because it is, like Glack said, it's very hard to control.
They basically every pixel, you hit it at a different time.
Right.
So, and it changes drastically depending. So.
Is this our buddy chasing
It's
us now?
our buddy now.
Yeah, okay, so the lore I made up was that, all right, this one's the good guy, but he's being, like, controlled by the really bad mosquito that we're about to go fight.
He's sad. He looks pretty
Spoilers.
sad to me.
So they're making him carry this big old plum to kill you. If you make, obviously you don't want to die on the screen, and that will cause that. We got coming up here, he actually has to make sure he doesn't go too fast there at the very end. Otherwise, you can go off screen and it will kill you because of each of the vines propelling you forward a few pixels each time you jump off of them. So you just have to sandbag just a little bit. If you want to actually get in one quick donation before we get into this boss as well.
Absolutely. I do have a quick donation from Trickster FX donating $50. Rayman is love, Rayman is life. Here's to Allegro clip and good luck on the run. It's time to save the world. Oh, and runner's choice.
Allegro clip.
So this is Mr. Mosquito with a K due to copyright infringement reasons.
Was this his original appearance?
Yes.
So for this boss, he has obviously set, or not obviously, but he has set patterns. A lot of the spiked plums he's got, he'll drop as soon as you're underneath them. So you're going to see Glackum moving across the screen in order to make them drop sooner and sooner.
See, I thought those were star fruit.
We can go with that, actually. I don't think the devs
I think the dev name, well, the ones that I know, is called Spiky Fruit. Oops.
It's okay that he's taking some damage here. He has a little bit of leeway. Normally in the rest of the run, that's not going to be the case. The health management's going to be pretty tight. Right here, it doesn't really matter too much. Now, you might wonder, oh, Glack sucks. He just missed hitting him right there. That's actually to manipulate the boss right there. If the boss hasn't been hit 8 times at that point, after you hit him in that top middle spot, he goes, oh, you're supposed to have another hit. So then he just goes right back to the middle right there. And you don't have to watch him slowly move up to this top middle position. So with that, we got just a couple more plum phases. I guess we can go ahead. Yeah, if you have any more donations, you can read a couple if you want to plug any incentives.
I have a beautiful donation from the Rayman Discord, donating $120. Hey everyone, this is the donation money the Rayman speedrunning community has gathered during our annual Rayman speedrunning marathon back in December. Thanks again to Spike Vegeta for letting us host the marathon on his channel. We are a small community yet full of passionate runners with love for our limbless buddy. We would like to support this great cause and have our runner, Glackum, know he has the entire Rayman community behind him. Best of luck on your run. Donation goes to Runner's Choice.
Hell yeah.
All
Thank you.
right.
Shouts to the Rayman community.
So I'm avoiding the worst here, which is not having rings. Now I have rings.
Did you
Oh
just
my
get married
gosh.
with her?
That's a lot.
That's a big commitment.
These rings now, being able to grab onto them, he's going to be using a technique, I believe you call it speed locking now.
Yeah.
We've called it different things over the years. But basically, for whatever reason, as awkward as it is, if he holds up or down as he's jumping off of those rings at the right angle, he will actually be able to maintain more speed. Doing a recoil boost right here, the run starts getting a lot faster once we get into this section, this world. You can see we got these slippery, icy platforms. Nice grabbing that ledge right there, setting himself up perfectly. Now going across, if he lines this up perfectly, he should be able to take all that momentum very quickly. Again, we don't have the run ability yet, so you want to maintain this icy momentum as long as you can. So that was a really nice first screen there by Glack. Great job. Going to, I was about to say, let's bring shout outs to the audience out here, by the way. It is butt o'clock, and they are out here supporting.
That's the clock.
Those mosquitoes there, they're the greatest offensive linemen. They are rough to get over, but he knows
They
when
can
to
track
jump.
you down vertically, like in a flash. They're like, yeah, I'm going to beat you up, and they do.
We got a huge skip coming up right here. He's actually going to make sure that he works with those platforms in a very specific way to fall off, get the right iframes, because you don't get a lot off of them right there, and be able to jump up and get that cage early. Otherwise, the game wants you to go all the way to the end of this screen, spawn a cloud platform, ride it all the way back across here at the end, and then you can get it. The whole thing went by kind of quick there. But yeah, it's actually really specific how you have to manipulate walking on those cloud platforms to get the right damage boost and be able to get where you want to go.
You also have to make sure that you are, you reset your momentum there, because otherwise you'll actually get stuck on the cloud.
Also, whoop.
Oop, oop. There we go.
Well, I'm going to do the same thing here. If you hit a wall here, you can just do this.
Ball skip.
It's actually very precise. It's like right in between the pixels.
Yeah, you called it TAS balls, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned it from the TAS of this game, which is actually extremely insane, all the things they can do. I mean, it's a TAS.
It's a very TAS-only run, for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. You'll end up touching all of them.
All right, big zip coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big old one. Here we go.
Here we go. Just crawl underneath.
Whee! Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, Glackum's got a little different setup there.
Yeah, basically I do it the same way I do the mini zip. You jump over a ground tile while you're like on that sprite rocket thing, like on the corner of the rocket, and the game gets confused, and as long as you crouch like underneath the ceiling, it just zips you through. It's the only time in the run you'll see this.
Utilize a little damage boost right here, getting yourself over to the right. Now, this is one of the biggest skips in the entire game, is right here.
Okay.
All right, nice. Made the big skip. All right.
I don't know why these enemies are so mean. I was told that everyone loves Rayman.
That's what everyone out here is thinking. No, so that is a usage of that technique we just talked about. Speed locking in combination with another piece of tech called
Tether boosting.
Tether boosting.
Basically, I'm just trying to get a very far distance from the ring as I punch it, and to get that tether, like a very far tether.
Yeah.
And in general, it's like there are a lot of angles in this game.
Right.
And you have any specific point, I'm gonna be jumping at a different time, punching at a different place, getting a different angle to get more height or less height, anything in between.
Yeah, so with that, he's able to flick himself, getting that kind of very violent, basically putting you almost in run speed, even though you don't actually have the run ability yet, to have a lot of momentum to be able to get over there. Bit silly, you have just enough iframes to actually take that damage and go across. You're not supposed to be over here. The game normally intends for you to get turned into Tiny Rayman and then move over here. That's why he wanted to actually take the death afterwards, because you're just kind of stuck over there otherwise. It's a good thing there is that pit to fall into.
Not a lot of RNG, plenty of manipulation.
No doubt. This enemy here sucks. What's up, dude?
See ya.
That guy will kill you so many times the first time you play this. As will this game just in general.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could get this far on your first playthrough.
There was someone I talked to last night, another runner here, who was like, oh my gosh, I love Rayman. And I was like, are you okay? I love this game, but I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I love the idea of Rayman.
Yes, that's a good way of describing it. Just all the aesthetics. The game's really pretty and colorful. Who
Good
can't
sound
love
effects.
Bandland? But man, this game is hard as balls.
Interesting thing about Bandland is that the original boss was actually Mr. Tuba, but because of Bill Clinton having the sax in around 1995 when this game came out, they decided to opt out and put a sax in.
Oh my God, please tell me you're not memeing and that's the truth.
I mean, as far as I know, that's the truth.
Yeah, I'm a clap for that.
Now you gotta watch out, those music notes are pretty sharp.
Ooh.
I am not going to clap for that.
I'm sorry,
gonna-
that joke fell a
Caveman's
little
up there
flat.
We're gonna
texting me like,
thumbs down.
I hate you.
Unapologetic.
I'm holding
Oh,
back so much laughter.
I just saw a hand. I was proto, I'm sorry. Not that you guys are almost yet. All right, so it's very specific right here. He wanted to make sure he took damage off of the lightning bolt, not actually just the enemy right
They give you
there.
no iframes at all.
Yeah, it's like 2 iframes. You need more than 2 to be able to get through there.
2 ought to be enough.
Yeah, as it turns out. So a little just basic mechanic that we haven't really been talking about is all the stuff going on in the UI right now. You made sure to pick up that power-up right there.
Assuming I get a Allegro clip anyway.
Yes. We will see that coming up very soon.
Trickster donated for this. I'm doing it. It's happening. First try or no try.
All right, I believe
Got
in you,
this.
dude.
Here we go.
Your entire speedrunning career comes down to this moment.
It saves 16 seconds. It's pixel perfect, specific speed. Here's hoping.
Ooh.
No, it didn't get it. You have to, it's right on that top of the slope there. Otherwise, no, nothing.
You're going pretty fast. It's pixel perfect. It's frustrating to get to this part in the run, for sure.
Interesting thing about this game is that with the slopes and the ice physics almost, the Jaguar version doesn't have that for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason they took it out, which makes this screen a lot longer.
Yeah,
This is really cool that you get to go this fast. And by punching backwards like this, you genuinely get these awesome recoil boosts. He's going to try to get this specific jump right here.
there we
Nice,
go.
made that jump.
The fist boost helps buffer that a little bit more. You can do it with walking, just straight up walking, but it's only 2.2 seconds faster or something like that. Ooh, okay, hold on. I want
he's
to. I want
good.
to get this.
Yeah, trying to set up another clip right here, see if we can get it.
Okay. I
It's
don't think
pretty
I'm getting-
specific, though. I believe.
No, I was close.
Yeah.
But
Again,
I didn't want to get that hang there. That's what bumped me up. Need at least 2 slopes.
Sure. You want a very specific amount of speed to make it work. Some you'll take a little bit off of it. All right. Now, you were the one who tried this yesterday, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
It kind of blows.
Literally.
All right, I'm gonna clap. That was good. No. So yeah, this is an absolute nightmare the first time you play this because again, you're dealing with these icy platforms. But he was able to get through all of it first try. Come here, he's gonna have a specific jump to get this cave so we can get it.
Yeah,
oh, very nice actually. That is a lot harder than it looks. That he caught it without catching the platform as well, able to keep his momentum going. Punch out this guy. It's the only one that we just have to get rid of. Sorry, dude.
If you go the other way, you'll probably die.
Yeah, it was a really good, really well executed screen right there.
So one thing to note, neutral jumps will give you both left and right lateral movement. If you are holding right here, you can tell right there, I just had no speed.
Right.
I'll do that pretty often, especially with slippery platforms, because if you jump neutrally on like anything, including slippery platforms, you won't have all the like it's it's uncontrollable to use slippery platforms. I'm actually gonna take this.
Yeah, this is one of the best safety saves in the game. This is generally a screen where if you played this game as a kid, this is where you lost all your lives. And you'll especially see it coming up here soon.
I'm gonna try small platforms, at least once.
Nice. This is a very difficult strategy that you just showed me yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can get it or not. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Close.
Oh,
Close enough.
that was still really good.
Close enough.
They decided in other versions of this game, they were like, oh, these tiny, slippery platforms over a bottomless pit. Whee! Recoil boosting is so good. He's going to set up for another one right here. Oh. And then try to spawn this at the last second.
There
Very
we
nice.
go.
And then he's going to jump up here, jump out to spawn this exit platform. That was really well executed, that screen. I know you missed the clips in the first screen, but this is a good Allegro Presto so far. Speaking of clips, just walk into these spikes, and you have just a little bit of room to just walk off as well. He's going to make sure he hits a certain amount of this slope to get a certain amount of speed coming down. Set up for a recoil boost here. Going to only duck when he has to. And he's, again, trying to jump here to maintain this momentum. Clear these enemies, clear under those notes, because that will, as almost like a wall, stop you. Set up for one more recoil boost here. And then we got the boss of this world.
Say goodbye to him right now.
Yeah, that is the last time we
say
see
your
him.
prayers. He's gone.
Yeah, sure. We can climb that. Yeah, why not? Allegro Presto is, I think, one of the most difficult stages in the entire
Oh, yeah,
run.
you can lose so much time.
Give
Like
her new power.
16 seconds from the
Yeah,
first
right
clip.
there off the
What's
start.
going to make us stronger this time?
This is actually probably the most interesting looking power up when you
Yeah.
first play this. You get the power to use your hair
I can use
as
my
a
hair.
helicopter.
Oh, I can't use my hair as a helicopter.
Man,
I tried once. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
Rayman's such a cool series, man. We could use our hair as a helicopter. So the other of the two branching paths right here, he could have gone to the rest of that band-style world, but instead we're going to move on to the Blue Mountains levels. Because at the end of the Blue Mountains, that will actually give us our 5th and final power-up. And right there you can see how all this tech is starting to come together. Having the ability to get these tether boosts and this speed locking. I'll go ahead and take care of this guy. And then actually chain it off of other rings with speed locking, and then even go into your hover to keep that going even further. Really cool speed tech going on right here.
The noise that the helicopter hair makes, it gets me every time. It's so funny.
A lot of sound effects.
All right, so I have just enough tings that I can actually make this, like, I'm going to get a 1-up before I get hit. I did take a safety, like, some safety health. I could jump over that, like, stone man from the other screen that I punched, but I'm not very consistent at that. So I figured, yeah, why not? But we're getting 2 more tings, and we're going to get a 1-up. And speed locking is something that you can do on things other than rings. This is how it normally looks, by the way. You just, like, you know, get very little speed.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to come over here, you know, grab some stuff, and I'm just going to hold up, and it just passes you by. I'm going to try that again for another much more difficult trick coming up. Because I'm going to use this with ring climbing. When you just hold jump and punch, you just kind of get boosted up a bit when you hold them down. So here we go. There we go.
Very nice.
You rock at that.
Oh my God, you're so good at these.
Have you played this before?
No, I'm really bad at puns. You should talk to Brosentia later. That would be good friends. So yeah, you can see how this game goes from like, oh, why would this be a cool speed run? It's like a walking simulator. All of a sudden, like, nah, it's a pretty cool speed run. Shouts to the Rayman community. Again, gave us that awesome donation earlier for all of the cool tricks and everything they found in this game over the years. Right there, that's showing off why Glack actually intentionally took all those hits there at the end, kind of in that auto-scroller section, because he wanted to take that death abuse right there.
It's actually slower to have 1 health at that point, because if you have 1 health, you can't do the animation cancel, which saves you like half a second.
Coming up here, we're setting up. This is one of 2 screens in the game where there's a second exit that you can use. This one's much faster and much cooler. Yeah!
Nice.
Good stuff, man. I was trying to remember what the next screen was. Okay.
So another thing to note, in the PS1 version, you will have crouch controls. You have a left and right button, and they will move for you, but you also have your left and right, like your normal D-pad. And you could just kind of like damage boost under small crevices without like any real danger of like messing it up or anything. So I'm going to be holding right crouch button here, and I'm just going to hold left and let go. Just like turn back. I'm going to do that a couple more times later.
And again, trying to punch here right before he hits the ground so he can get that aerial punch, doing 2 damage instead of 1 to hit each of these cages. So pretty specific there. Once again, going to do the same thing here. A little scary having to do this with 1 health, but he's got the power up right there to get him back up. Not only giving him refilling his health, but also increasing his max health back from 3 to 5.
Actually held left on that vertical cloud there, or else you can't make that cloud cycle. You have to wait for it.
A little bit.
Time for a little,
Random auto scroll.
5-second auto scroller.
Why not?
Oh, that was a nice jump.
The devs thought that part just wasn't slow enough.
It's actually not that much slower than without it, but the back of the auto scrolls will kill you, so it does add some sort of difficulty to it.
Nice damage boost right there to get out of the auto scroll a little faster. And then again, turn around. There's stuff all over the screen right there, but good weaving through all of that.
The hammers don't even have hitboxes. It's just the bullet.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just did it the same way every time. Gonna take another damage boost right here. Again, not having to wait for this section. And now manipulating this molten lava ball to break apart and then give you that damage boost. Yeah, he does have, as you can see, 1 health left right here. Again, our health management is extremely tight throughout the run. He does have a little small health meter coming up right here. Giving him 2 more health right there. And now you can, a lot of it, to know when you've spawned like a cage or something, you can just go off of audio cues casually, is he touched that 1 random spot on that cloud back there, and that's when he knew he spawned it. Dropping down, taking another damage boost, and then jumping up here, just getting away from that blue spike, and now taking the death abuse.
And yeah, if you duck, when you're at the last frame of an animation, you can actually cancel your death animation on the sprites, like these spike balls, for example. And it'll save like half a second, but we do a couple intentional death abuses, but most of them are in pits. So I'm gonna just take 2 damage boosts here.
He's a madman for doing 2.
I'm gonna try to do lava fragment skip here. I have to double jump. I have to jump as I hover, as I jump onto this, and maybe no.
Oh,
Close.
good call on your part, though, dude. Again, a lot of that, not so much just like having a visual on screen. He's just done this enough times. Glackum putting a lot of work over the last year into this game in order to get it to a 120 flat, actually, correct?
Yeah, I have a 120 flat. World record now, Thextera, shout outs to him. He's a great guy. 119.31 is the current.
Wow, what a monster. But yeah, Glackum putting in a lot of work. So that kind of showing it off right there, knowing, having that eternal clock in his head. All right, this was not fast enough. And instead of taking a death, was able to at least avoid that right there. Interesting, unique power-up right here. This isn't a permanent power-up you're getting, but you can start just flying forward, actually, and flying upwards with it. There's a way for him to actually get good speed right there that he's looking for, and he's got the good speed right now. Taking a damage boost, again, instead of having to slowly move up and to the right at that point. But yeah, as long as he's moving up and to the right, that's usually indicating that he's going to be having good speed going forward. I don't believe it's possible to actually catch that
You
cycle.
can, if you do it slightly different, you can actually jump through that without taking a hit at all. You can jump past that little like low ceiling that I jumped on, and you can hit it, but it's not very consistent.
It is very difficult to control this section. You have to put on sort of a specific rhythm and even mashing in some instances to get through where you want to go.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the harder screens to optimize for sure. Every little thing changes. If you get hit, you lose. Like, you have to like wait for it to like really initiate the hover too.
Ooh,
Every
weaving
time you get
through,
hit.
though.
So if you get hit, you have to like wait for it to come back. Sometimes you'll probably get hit a second time. You'll lose like something like 3 seconds, or 5 or 10 if you really, you know.
Interesting thing about this part is, if it's your first playthrough, you might not know that you're cutting the ropes with your hair.
You have no idea what
But-
you're doing the first time.
Apparently, if you watch the title screen, it actually does show you.
Yeah, there's a
But
demo for it.
Who watches those?
I watched them.
I
also.
watched.
Oh, well, there you
I
go.
watch them, and I didn't know that until you told me just now.
There's a slippery % ROM hack now out that everyone can get. If
I
you
wanna
watch
play that when I
if you
get
watch
home,
the
dude.
demo, it shows up in even in the with the AIs they do the same inputs, but they just like die and
All
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Good demo, dude. Once again, for everyone to know, Rayman can't swim, so we have to be specific. We're going to do basically a boomerang type thing here. We're going to throw it, fall down, and the fist is going to come back to us, breaking the cage on the way, as opposed to just having to drop down there, break it, and go. So nicely
This
executed there.
is my favorite level in the game and favorite world. You don't have Run by now,
yeah.
but like, I like it so much, and it's got a lot of atmospheric music and beats.
I'm glad you say the same thing, because there's a common misconception that, like, oh, Rayman, as a speed run, you don't even get the run ability till like halfway through. So the first half of the run is slow and boring and it sucks, right? No, a lot of my favorite levels are actually even before you have the run ability. And maybe it's some of the creativity that you have to implement to go fast, but there's still so many other forms of speed tech that you can string together, and so many cool tricks.
So there's just like 2 auto scrolls here. This is a good time for a quick donation.
All right, I have a $50 donation from Lauren SW. I forgot how much I remembered Rayman until this run. I lost my wonderful mom to cancer, so thanks for championing the cause and for the walk down memory lane. Donate to Runner's Choice. I don't totally know what that means, but do the thing.
Don't worry. I don't know right now either.
It is early.
I'll get there after.
You're doing great for like 6 a.m., by the way, so far. I guess we're up to like 7 a.m. at this point, so you're probably powering up. Specifically wanted to punch that enemy because it changes his AI to be like, hey, what the hell? And then he starts walking forward.
I just don't like the way he looks.
Right here, we got some snowy platforms which count as ice. Made sure that he turned back
That's
to the
good.
left right there because he wants to maintain that ice momentum going all the way through it. So, well executed there. You would think that the hover ability in this game would be maybe how it is in some other games. It would actually slow you down. You maintain all your momentum going into your hover, so it's a great way just to keep that going. Right there, again, jumping, and then hovering through that little area, pushing back left just a little bit.
So I'm going to be doing a recoil boost here that'll jump over 2 of these. Like, ideally, like, normally all 4 of these platforms would have meteors, but
Ooh,
there's
nice.
triggers for each one. You just kind of jump over 2 of them with a good recoil boost. It's pretty consistent, too. You just turn back, punch for a very short amount of time. It just works out.
Once again, hover out of the icy platform. Love him hiccuping every time he takes damage. So right there, there's a 1-up that he could have grabbed right there, which would have given him a 1-up, obviously, but also refilled his health. He's actually going to save it and just get this power-up on the screen after the first couple of hits. This boss is super cool. It used
So
to be,
good.
It used to be such a boring boss fight because you have to just wait for him to slowly put the balls down on the ground. Instead, he's going to actually jump up through the balls, take damage, and then jump off of the top of them and then hover and get his punches. Waited till then to get the power up. He's putting on a slight delay right there because he wanted to make sure that that next ball was on screen. Otherwise, it would have put him into a different attack phase. Now he's going to put on a delay right here, just long enough to wait for this thing to be active to hit again. Got another hit there. This boss is normally super slow. We got the Z curve right here. Timed it perfectly, jumped off of it, waited, and then got the hit right there.
Perfect
we got
stone fight.
one hit left. Let's see if he can get the last hit and have a perfect fight.
I'd have to do something real crazy.
Yeah, this last hit is the easiest, but still, let's just confirm. It's like the only part of waiting we have to do. One more damage boost up and through. Very well executed fight there.
Crushed it.
There you go. I got all those last taunts in before it actually disappears now when we get the
run ability.
The run ability.
Welcome to Speedruns, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, just so many cool damage boosts that he used there to jump up and through the molten lava balls, being able to, or I guess those are just the regular rocks. But yeah, I don't know, go back and watch it. It's cool. It's a cool fight right there.
Yeah, now my taunt ability button is now replaced with this ability, so very sad.
The triangle button does nothing, and they didn't just put it on there. I don't know why, but oh well. So now we have the run ability. Our 5th and final power-up. Before we want to move on to the last 2 major worlds of the game, we have to go back to 4 stages and clean up all the cages.
Oh, we have to go to like 4, and we have to do 2
4
more.
and 2 that we didn't go to at all. That's cool.
Yeah, they're
Story
much.
punch.
We're actually. This is when the route changes after this. We normally back in 2015 you would go to the forest stage first. I want that fist, and then go to the Bandland stages that we missed. But in more recent days, we now go to Bandland first, and then the music level, the forest stages. That is because we have a new tech called speed storage that was more recently found. If Spike wants to explain that beforehand, that'll be in a couple of, like 2 levels.
We'll explain it once we actually get up to it. We got a couple levels to go. Also, that jump is stupid impossible.
It's just as hard in the speedrun as it is casually. You know how it works. But I'm not, like, I'm like 2nd in the world. I still missed that jump.
Yeah, if you don't know where to jump from, the first time you play this casually, you're going to be convinced you're missing something. Nope, you just have to jump from just a couple of pixels and throw it up there. I've always said that I'm convinced that the devs did it one time, threw it up there, they got it first try, and they were like, okay, obviously, I guess that works out. It's stupid. Here we are in Gong Heights. It's actually a very scary screen in general, but it's also pretty self-explanatory. You're going to try to spawn all these
Very
cages.
consistent if you're not me, but, you know.
Oh, is this a rough one for you?
For me, I don't know. I'm always practicing this, but I find new ways to die every time. It's all over a pit. There's no checkpoint. It's all local cycles. You just got to do the same thing every time. It should work out if you do it well. There's some IL strats that are a little more difficult. Save, like, 2 seconds.
Sure. And once again, you're seeing him make sure that the little micro routing all over the place, he's making sure that he's hitting cages as he's about to hit the ground. You're also seeing a technique he's utilizing sometime all over the place. We didn't really get into it. But again, it's doing a very slight hover right before you hit one of those bouncy clouds, because that actually will maximize your height. It'll guarantee you the max height every single time you get that bounce. We're coming up on the last section of the level. He's going to try to jump off this ball at the last second. Very nicely executed. Yeah, very scary screen that will kill you many times when you first start playing this game. With that, this is one of the last true auto-scrollers in the run, so he's going to get the last 2 cages and move on. So, April, take it away.
Absolutely. We have a $10 donation from Assassin Nathan, 180. Man, Rayman is awesome. I remember getting to the music level back in my youth. My wife lost her dad to cancer 2 years ago, and I'm currently losing my grandmother. Hopefully we can make some improvements to treatment. You're all donating your time for a good cause. Donation goes to Spike Vegeta's Choice.
I don't know where oh, God. I got to go get that cage now.
I was about to give you so
What
much crap,
even?
dude. I was like, what are you doing?
It was a surprise just for you, man.
Sorry, we can get in one more donation real quick. Or if you want to plug an incentive coming up, I know we got
I'm
fire
good.
up.
I'm just still in shock over that last cage.
I know. I was like, what are you I was like, man, he really is tired.
We have a $10 anonymous donation. Shout out to Spike Vegeta for the great commentary as always. He definitely makes speedrunning more accessible and helped me to get into it. We have $100 from an anonymous donor. Welcome to 2018, year of the PB. Good luck, Glackum. Go fast.
Yo,
Got it.
nice.
Oh, and I
Oh,
didn't
we
get
get
it.
to do it again.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to show his
A little
consistency
more
at
mundane.
it.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll
Okay,
just
so
move
we'll
on.
go the regular way. So that was showing off a trick, but that's okay. I think going through this
I would,
screen right here
like,
is
if
pretty cool.
if I was going through it backwards, I would clip right there, like, right into that platform there.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing?
Yeah, we still need, yeah, a little bit different route at this point. Normally, he wanted to go up kind of the backwards way from aiming that Thunderbolt. Oh, that's speed storage, by the way. We'll explain it, I guess, once we get more up to the end of the level. I honestly, like, I was out of the game before the trick was, like, a thing. But basically, you have ways to interact with different objects. Just certain pixels on certain objects. Also, big jump here. Ooh. No. Oh,
Okay,
we're back.
don't worry, we're fine.
Yo, here it is. We get to show off the clip.
Yeah. There we go.
Yo, nice. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
If that was me, I would have lost like an hour to that. Instead, he just clips right through, and it's whatever. I'm convinced you're just doing this on purpose at this point. But yeah, we're able to store a lot of speed by going faster than max speed, utilizing the recoiling and everything we've got here. And that's going to be used particularly for the next level coming up to save a ton of time.
Yeah, there originally if you saw this back when Spike was around, you'd have to do this insane plum skip that works like half the time or like never.
Yeah, you know, it's whatever. It was pretty hard. Also, best offensive lineman right there. By punching and then jumping over him, that manipulates his AI to move down. You can tell he's meant to make you stop there and kill him. So right here, he makes sure he got the speed storage right there. He's above. Yeah, you can see him going a little bit faster right now. There's two ways to break this speed storage, as they call it. You want to avoid going into a roll animation, so like jumping, running and jumping. That's why he just walked off the edge to take the death abuse right there. Or hitting a wall. So with that, he's now going to go back to Mosquito's Nest right here. There's a cage that's directly above you, and normally you'd have to go all the way across, ride the platforms, then go up, and then come all the way back across the other way. This saves like 45 seconds, so speed storage.
There you go. It's over.
And we're right there at the end. So speed storage, very cool technique.
Yeah,
Again,
but the problem is it's a very particular trick. As you said, there's those restrictions basically stop you from doing it like running ever if you wanted to initiate it on later stages.
Yeah.
So you only use it one more time. There's a lot of different random text that we use like every now and then, and this is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're
Like zipping, you do it once in a lifetime. One time the whole run, never again.
Thanks for a nice varied run. Right here, he's going to try to line this up, throw the guy. Oh, he actually got it. Nice. So now he's going to let himself stand up, taking the damage boost just enough to knock him back like that. Hit this plum late. Come up here, get a little nice speed lock off of that ring, ring right there.
Just drop down, punch this cage that just spawned because you were up on that mushroom platform, and then just go back
Again,
through the
you
return
just
sign.
got to know.
The locks never even break on the cages. You know, they just fly right
You
up.
just punch them and then they shoot up and then the bottom comes out.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
So that's the lore. I believe it, for this game. So here we are in the last of the revisit levels, and then afterwards now he can go to Worlds 4 and 5 and finish up the game. But yeah, it's one of the only levels of the ones it's the only one that we repeat that we have to go through the entire thing. Because very conveniently, they'll put those exit pads at the start of the first screen of every level. Unfortunately, this is one where we had to go back through the second screen since that's where all the cages we're missing are. So it's okay because this Pink Plant Woods, first level of the game, it moves by really fast.
Yeah, you don't have run here, so everything's like kind of like made for you.
Yeah.
But it's important to note, now we're going to be getting another fist. We got one fist in Gong Heights.
Yeah.
Those are the two stages that we're going through without going through return signs. They're the ones where we're getting the fist that we're going to be needing for one of the cages in. Basically, we're getting the Gong Heights thing, and we need it like 5 levels later.
Right, it's for the routing. We didn't actually explain like just what the fist power-ups actually do. The fist power-ups that are not gold, they kind of shine, they fade from silver to gold constantly. Those actually determine your fist speed, we call it. And it's also just like the length of your fist. Like when you punch, how far will they go? How quickly they come back to you. It affects a lot of little properties about it. That's actually going to be useful in this next level right here.
Yeah. There's 3 different levels. There's level 1, 2, and 3. The first 2 increase length and distance. speed and distance. The third one just increases the speed. So we only need 2, and when you die, you lose like everything. You lose your health. If you have 5, you go down to 3. You lose your tings.
Yeah,
You lose your fists. Ooh, that's bad.
Didn't mean to do that there, obviously. He's going to have to let these
Ooh,
guys make sure
what are
they...
you doing there?
Yeah, I know. He kind of got left behind.
Yeah, it seems like a tough level. Looks like you're in for a graph fight.
Oh. Can we erase that pun?
I gotta sharpen my skills.
But yeah,
Oh
so
my
going through
God.
return
Bro, I
signs.
like that one. Yeah. So the reason why he exited the level right there is because that actually resets what he originally came into the level with. So that fist power-up level that he had coming in, now it's back to that even though he took the death right there, which would normally lower his fist power-up by 1.
Ooh, close.
Yeah, this is one of the scariest levels casually, and I would say even in a speed run, because you bonk the ceiling, it actually resets your momentum, and you're going over, you got spikes, you got these tiny little pencil platforms that he's standing on. Able to make it onto that, very nice.
Just like wait a little bit back so this cycle here is a little nicer. Just hover so that you land on that nice, because it's going down, but I'm going down slower, and it just clips you on.
Grabbing
You have to
that
hang
ledge.
that so you don't like get stuck on that sharpener. Then that's the end.
Yeah, that's
Very
actually
difficult
that was pretty
screen.
well done, yeah. You'll die there 1,000 times you get there, the first time you get there.
This screen's a little bit easier, but it's also important because there are a couple points where I can accidentally get hit by these pencils. And I want to...
Hey, you invited them on the couch, not me.
What are you doing?
I figured you liked the puns.
They're sharp.
Oh, okay, you're part of it. My God, it is too early.
Oh, yeah. See, like, if I made that, if I ran in
Yeah.
there... Yeah, I need both of my health packs to...
Can we
my
talk
lives.
about? Can we talk about these enemies that are chasing us?
They're...
Like,
They're like, they fly, they use frying pans, they use fish bowls for helmets. I don't...
Yin yang balls with eyes. Everything in this game has eyeballs. The wall will have eyeballs at certain points.
And then it'll shoot lightning at you.
that just makes sense.
God, I love the aesthetic of this game. Okay, so the whole reason why we wanted to have a specific amount of power-ups to this point is for this dumb cage right here.
Oh,
so,
man.
Subpixels.
Got it.
Got it.
First
Nice.
try.
Nice.
I'm clapping for the game right there more
Yeah.
than you.
Yeah.
Well, you can, like, if you want to see in frames, you can actually use the AnyTunes as an audio, like a visual cue to, like, I don't know, do something frame
Man, are you
perfect or
trying to make
something.
this about yourself?
No,
This
I'm
was-
not the one doing it that way.
Oh my God.
Effects
I knew
actually
you had
does
an
that.
ego. Oh, really?
Yeah, I just punch and pray.
Punch and pray,
Basically, that cage only works on an odd frame. If you hit it earlier than that, it just like if you hit it on an even frame, not earlier, it just won't work. So unless you see in frames, it's practically a 50-50 cage. We call it the 50-50 cage. And we have to go through here as big because if we're small, you have to go through this whole part to spawn that. And it's like way slower than just being big through this. We tried our best to route out the small, but
Didn't quite work.
you can't actually physically get through this part without being big. I mean, without being small here.
Yeah.
So
Nice hover right there in order to just hit the inky parts of the platforms so he could carry that momentum all the way. As you can see, the biggest problem with being Tiny Rayman, this is one of the first times we've actually seen him as Tiny Rayman. Is it the first?
no, we've seen him a couple times.
We have, okay, I couldn't think. But he moves really slow.
Whoa.
Yo, interesting first strat right there.
I'm gonna take a hit on purpose so I don't do this strat. Just take it. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just doing it.
So normally on this boss coming up right here on this next screen, Space Mama in her Viking, more Viking-like form, there are 3 damage boosts that you would want to take. But as you can see, he only has 3 health. He set that up so that he specifically will not go for a hit that potentially would soft lock the game. Here at
Probably
GDQ
should have just done it on these guys,
I
but
was about to say, yeah, because now we could take damage here, but I like your gusto. This is fine.
yeah, it's the same thing. So basically, these guys would probably be a pain, but much like the moths, if you just kind of like punch them point blank, just kind of mess with the AI and get all the hits in, and without like any of the difficulty. And that was a very, very strange bomb cycle.
Yeah.
They can go from anywhere to like 1 to 4, and they could be just like all spawn on the right side or not really go that far. That's one of the very few instances in this game of RNG.
Yeah, true RNG. The
There's a-
Rayman series in general in speedrunning doesn't have a lot of RNG to them. Go ahead.
But the only other point in the game where we're gonna have RNG is the Mr. Scops boss, which can just like variable different times when it drops some
Sure.
platforms. Otherwise, I mean, everything is either like slightly inconsistent because so many angles, 60 FPS, or just it's just hard. It's hard. It's a hard game.
You saw him utilizing both of those damage use. Normally, you just wait. The knives come all the way down. You wait till she gives you the tops of the knives right here to bounce off of. Also, shouts to hitboxes.
Yeah, you can just like spin underneath it. You can just be under these things as long as they're just not like directly on the ground, like these ones coming up. But if they're on the ground, you could just walk through them.
So if he had one more health, he could have gone for one right here. I didn't know you could do quite to that point. I guess it's the rubbery
This is the
part.
PS1 version. In the PC, they patched that out.
So you could have done one more damage boost like you did for the other two right here. However, if the final knife does not get off screen before Space Mama does, then the game soft locks.
And it has to be darting. It can't be spinning. It has to be moving somewhere and not off screen yet.
Right.
If you don't do it that way, if you don't hit it in the middle, you won't. This won't happen.
You won't dance.
You'll be able to walk around all that you want, but it's like your little utopia of never ending.
Right. You have to be able to dance or the game does not advance right there. It's not a strat that, like, in actual runs that we worry about. But here at a marathon setting, we'll sacrifice the, like, 10 seconds.
It's like,
to make sure
yeah,
that
it's something like 12 seconds.
Sounds like a mistake that would cost you an arm and a leg.
I'll take it. I'll take
I
it.
just love, for any of you not seeing Proto's on audio right now, she's giving thumbs up and thumbs down for each of these jokes. You're mostly coming in with a passing grade. And you can see right here, he's been picking up a ton of one-ups throughout the run, and he's still sitting here just at 4 because there's so much death abuse all throughout the run.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I don't think I've died on accident yet. So
No, you haven't.
This is I'm getting
Good job
all this
jinxing
same.
yourself.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that
No, no.
whiff on that pen right there.
Oh, no. It hasn't happened yet. It won't happen now. Or could it?
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Everything's a 50-50 chance.
Either it
That's how
happens or-
probability works, right?
Absolutely.
Just don't get hit by that guy somehow.
Sure, you got a late jump off of these again, maintaining that as
Right.
trying to maintain that as far as he can. And now off of here, he's going to speed lock and then hover to get all the way to that final exit post, as opposed to having to use all those rings right there. Lots of just subtle places you might not know if you haven't played the game a lot, where we're just skipping over platforms with that speed locking and tether boosting abilities.
There's a lot of just like subtle tech that might not be directly apparent in this game that you just don't tell I'm doing, that I'm doing because you have to, or because it's like some frames faster or something.
What is that hitbox right
Rayman's got a super thin hitbox right in the
When
middle.
you're ducking, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
he's mostly a rectangle.
Okay.
Like, his body is a rectangle.
As you saw right there on display.
He can get into some pencil-thin spaces.
Yeah, if you actually, like, if you punch in there, it moves you a couple pixels forward, and it just lets you weasel in there. I don't think you can actually, like, hang without at least doing that once to get, like, that's the intended way, besides, not getting hit by those yin-yangs. Just to, like, you just punch them all down, punch in once, and it should work.
Nice.
That was an instance of me resetting off of the wall there to zigzag through, speed locking through this. Oh my god, I might actually get it. All right,
So
so
there
we're going
is
to
a good
avoid getting
guess.
hit by this anti-tune at all here.
Oh my gosh, he's already calling it. This is such a tight cycle you have to make it.
There we go.
That was, I can't believe you got that at AGDQ. Might seem mundane. The cycle for that starts really early on, so your movement has to be perfect through all of the flying through those spikes and the bouncy platforms. This one,
We're
a
coming
little
up
easier.
On, we're coming up on one of those quirky
Just
moments
kill
of
him
the game.
anyway. It's actually faster.
This is one of those quirky moments of the game where you're going towards the end and a cage just appears under
Yeah.
you. Like, great.
Quirky.
Yeah, that's the word.
Because there's no way to go back a screen.
Yeah.
So normally casually you're just like, oh, thank God, the end of the level, and then you
Yeah.
hear it spawn at the last second. Oh God, no!
There we
Nice.
go.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
okay. So that's another subtle instance of how impossible that is casually to, because all
No,
these
you
will
won't.
naturally
You
bounce
won't even know what happens until you're bounced up.
Yeah, it just bounces you all the way up to the top.
There's like a no sign like right up top. Like if you try to go right, it just says no.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we got one more really convoluted cage that you have to get in this level.
Yeah,
and then
if
we're
you
on the
go
way.
towards that piece, spawns the one on the bottom, which spawns the one on the left. That makes me go up top.
Which
And
eventually
then just a random
spawns
cage here. Just there.
Why not?
And he wants to make sure that he walks off this inky block. Wow.
Come on. That's some rudeness.
He wanted to walk off of that to have a specific amount of speed. If you run off of it, you're going to miss everything. And
No.
all right,
That's close
didn't
enough.
quite clear. But yeah,
I didn't die.
skipping all those platforms that are above that, instead just jumping at the right
Could
time.
have gotten a
in
1-up
slope.
up there. Could have gotten a 1-up.
You could have had it, man.
You don't need it.
Space Mama's Crater, another very difficult level.
This can either be the hardest casually or the hardest speedrun-wise.
Yeah.
This or Allegro are generally the ones you would lose the most time on at top level. I don't know. I was bottom level at one point, and this was just as bad, I'll tell you that. There are a lot of tricks that will either be very hard or lose you a lot of time. Not so much on this screen, but there is one cage that I'm going to be doing very, very specific movement set up there, and I just punched the backwards.
Whatever. I thought you didn't like decommit from it and go backwards. All right,
It's actually
trying to
pretty
slow-
hard to avoid this second eraser here. It's a little further. Oh, close.
Yeah, again, trying to with speed locking, just clear over. Again, holding up or down actually when coming off of those rings will actually just give you more speed. It is what it is. It's fun. So coming up here with this cage, it's pretty specific. He has a setup for it, but you need to normally
go.
punch out all. Yep.
And then just punch overhead, hit that one right as the
First
mouthpiece.
try. Oh my gosh. There's just a little itty bitty window where you can fit your fist in there and be able to break that cage.
Yeah,
Normally-
there's a pretty good visual cue for it. Just right on that top yin yang, if your hair is like just passing by the mouthpiece of that third yin yang at the top, just punch. It'll work.
And once again, like you said earlier, they put an exit sign right before that cage. All right, so this is one of the hardest tricks in the entire run. Some will say the hardest. It's called Storm Skip.
Well, I only have one chance at it now.
Try to get a big tether right here.
Okay,
and
got it.
still got
Nice.
it, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to fully extend. Also nice, barely clearing over that.
The second hardest trick in the game, avoiding dying.
Don't worry, it's all downhill from here. Setting up that perfectly, then pulling backwards. He's going to want that health just in case right here. That should set up to clear all the way over those yin-yang balls. Still chilling here with one health. He said in the last level, I haven't unintentionally died yet. You are pushing it right now, my
Okay.
friend.
Well, there's a P-Or braid coming up. Either I jump over this anti-tune or I don't.
Dude, I swear.
I'm
if
not
you
gonna.
try- Yeah, I was like, man, don't jump over the anti-tune.
It was 50-50, man.
Thank you for not flipping that 50-50 coin.
And yeah, you can just like, once they're semi-solid, so if you just hover, you'll instantly land on them. That's another thing I haven't discussed. There's a speed storage
There's a
coming up,
speed
but yeah,
storage right here.
The clouds in this game, basically, the further, like the higher of your drop, the heavier you fall on it, and the further down it'll go, and the lower your height will be when you let go, when you get off of it. But with a hover, you'll consistently get the. Oh wait, I'm gonna do this just in case.
I like this safety save just in case.
And so generally, you'll see me like right before I hit a cloud, I'll always hover. Right, like if I'm below it, I'm gonna hover right when I land above it, like right here.
Like right
hover,
here, yeah.
hover. It'll clear me everything perfectly every time. It's consistent. They're a lot more painful if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, before we understood that trick, it almost felt random what height you would get off of the clouds.
So upcoming is a trick that I've been practicing for just to show off for you guys. This is gonna be I'm gonna skip this cycle completely if I have my way. Hover here, do a full jump, hover, damage boost backwards, and jump off this. Already
Oh
got
my
it.
gosh.
Nice.
Again, that might look a little more mundane. There's not nearly as much room to actually stand on those spiky platforms as you would think. So we had to
It's
angle
like
that very
right before the iframes are over, like right before. You don't jump, you don't hover immediately on that ceiling to get the momentum back. It's over.
Another strat that was found after I moved on from running the game is the Space Mama strat. Normally, you had to wait on quite a few phases. You got in one per turn. He's actually going to do some tricks here to try to get double hits in per phase. This first phase, he's just going to try to get 4 hits in, hitting her just as her
You have to knock her back at least one time, or else she will actually walk into you if you do it the fastest way. I don't think you're supposed to. But it's like right there. If he didn't knock back, I would have gotten hit. And that would have made it much more difficult to do these double hits. Yeah, okay. So basically I'm gonna stand under that shoe and fail that. Oh well.
That's all right. This one's gonna get a little more casual because again, he does need to be able to damage boost on some of these.
Well, I'm not even able to. All right. So I can go for another one, but I have 2 health.
Yeah, I think, the round's been pretty solid so far. This fight is an absolute nightmare the first time you play it casually, because you really just need to know where all of these exploding death pots of doom are coming from. The patterns are consistent, you know where they're coming from. So yeah, you're just gonna have to move around a little bit. We got her over halfway through, but yeah, she obviously goes nuts here with all of them coming through. Coming up here, he's actually going to be fighting not just her, but her washing machine that you see just awkwardly sitting back there on the screen.
It hits you on the way in, by the way.
Yes.
If you're on the left side of the screen and you're here the first time, there's just gonna be a giant washing machine just hit you in the back, and you're gonna be like, what? What happened? And then it's there, and you're like, that's rude. But he does actually have a purpose. She's gonna shield herself here with this washing machine.
At first, when I did this, I always thought, back when I ran AGDQ 13, that you just had to hit it a million times. As it turns out, you wait until a very specific point when its iframes run out. So he's putting on that hover to fit it in right there each time to delay it as much as he can. Because she's a bit of a jerk, and she, right when the iframes wear out, is when she's doing that shot. So.
And that can hit you too, right there.
Again, this boss is a big, big jerk. So there's the cycle right there. Not a big deal. He'll have to go through 1 extra attack phase.
All right. We can do a damage resist double hit here. She shoots out 2 lasers. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. You can't do that on the next one, can you?
She's only going to shoot out 1 on the next one. It alternates between 1 and 2. If you don't know that, because it doesn't give you any idea that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I just canceled out her attack there. I've been trying to do that, but...
Yeah, that's basically her trigger for thinking that she's done her attack, and that'll take care of it. Her trigger for thinking she's done the attack is whenever she yells out, "Hurr!" So you want to just wait for that, either that audio cue or a visual cue you might have. Yeah, sure, we can clap. Yeah. That was a really good picture city or whatever, like art world, which in a lot of ways I think could be the most challenging world in the run, just overall.
I missed it by a bit. I think I had I didn't have a fast enough fist there, maybe. So I'm gonna die here.
Yeah.
It saves a second.
Saves just a little bit of time.
It also, I'm more consistent now that I have like the level 1 fist. I'm gonna be trying this ring climbing here to make sure that I punch this turn back, ring climb, hover, hover.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's so good. Being a man, not taking the checkpoint right there, setting up, getting the cage back here. Again, just knowing these very random spots that will spawn the cages. He's gonna have to wait here, but then, something spawned behind him. Oh, the devs. Great game, but
Quirky.
terrible game. Quirky, sure.
Yeah.
Quirky, that's the right word.
Speed locking and chaining off of those.
Okay.
That's interesting. He's going to speed lock to not have to mess. The red rings actually float downwards. They get a lot more awkward there. So just avoiding that altogether.
So this part of the screen, you just there's like this vertical section. One of these can actually just hit you for absolutely no reason.
No reason when you're running
the
off.
The second one, so I'm going to just take a jump here.
Yeah.
Just to avoid it.
It feels like sub-pixels. We don't know exactly what causes it. Something with your run momentum.
Okay. You can go through that whole part. Punch this. If you go further, you'll spawn a bunch of meteors.
700 meteor balls.
While you're just getting pelted by this lightning. And you don't want to be stuck in that mess, so we just stay away from it. We're going to do a damage boost here. Just punch this, grab this ledge, run off and just go through those.
Nice. Yeah, weaving
That
your way
saves
through
like
this one.
a small little section on the right. I would like to say like 5-10 seconds.
Yeah, probably about right. And much just more awkward to get up there. And again, a lot of the jumping out, again, a lot of these moves might seem arbitrary. It's to trigger different cages. In that instance, it was also to trigger those cloud platforms. Do you think you can make this cycle?
I already messed. I couldn't. If I don't jump directly from that cloud to that other cloud,
Yep.
it won't let me go off the right side.
Okay.
So we just turn there, hope that this cycle's like nice, but it wasn't. So another thing to note, these rings, when they're moving up, they give you a lot of height, but when they're moving down, they don't give you any height at all,
Yeah.
really. So red rings are generally not used when possible because of that.
They always sink. They always go down.
And so I'm just hanging around here. This guy's just gone. There's just things
Yeah.
happening everywhere. You can, obviously you would stand on that normally, but
Sure.
you despawn, it saves like a second.
Yeah. Cool little strat. Did you make that strat up?
No, I didn't make that
No,
up.
okay. All right, Eat It Joe's, another absolute nightmare level casually.
Classic level.
This screen, go ahead and read 2 donations real quick.
Okay, we actually have an anonymous $300 donation with no message. Thank you so much for your generosity. We have a $50 anonymous donation. Great work, everybody. Keep it doing the fastness. Mwah mwah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the game's just like, yep, this screen's going to take a while to transition. Here, so, okay, the light on this screen will follow Rayman's fist. So he has to now just have the whole thing memorized. And making that mistake right there at the beginning, it's going to change a lot of things. So he's going to have to make adjustments.
It's already over. We're fine. So I'm just going to walk this because there's a bump, and it could like bump you up if you run, and you'll miss that jump. But then you just get a 1-up.
Yeah, he just ran into the 1-up, which will always take priority before the lava ball hits you. Again, there's water and pits underneath you, but if he has it memorized, he's able to work through it pretty well. So, nice job there. This is another very difficult screen coming up right here.
So this screen's very quirky. There's some ring strats that can lose you forever. If you're a casual runner, you might spend like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour just trying to get this one gauge coming up. I waited there a bit because these stakes that pass by will hit you on the fastest that you can go. So you just kind of want to wait back so the cycles are fine. I jump here, hit the wall, so I get my momentum reset and just run through this. Hit this ring, pass by.
Clear over all that mess down there. Very nice.
And so this is the part that it's a lot easier in the speedrun, unlike the one in Twilight Gulch, but this game expects you to do a lot sometimes. And this is one of those times. That ting is replaced with a ring in the PC version, but you have to get all the way over here with just like with your meager little, bump of whatever you get, like you see just here. And it's not giving me very nice it's not being very nice right now. There you go.
Yeah. So imagine having to do that without knowing about the tether boosting technique where he's elongating by effectively throwing the fist over. Actually, let's see if we can get this.
No!
Oh my
First try!
gosh. Wow, very nice. And got the tether boost off of it coming down the bonus. That was really sexy looking. Good job. But yeah, again, what's happening is he's throwing his fist above the ring, looking like he's whiffing, but that's actually going to throw it up and then get as far away from his fist as he can.
There you go.
And spawned the cage and threw the fist off screen to hit it and then getting his fist back. Lots of really cool cage breaking strategies you can do with that. But yeah, again, throwing it above the ring, getting as far away from it as he can, and then having that really long tether to get more height and more distance and more speed off of it.
So I'm just gonna jump like right here, duck here, and if I was a little further ahead, it would just like your whole animation would just disappear,
cancel it
and you
out.
would just be able to run through immediately. But now that we hit that plug, these alien platforms move. There's the bro 1-up, and we can move on. There is another auto scroll, so this is a very good time for donations.
Yes.
Speaking as an electrician real quick, this level doesn't seem very grounded.
Please, God, read some donations.
All right, I'm shocked to hear that.
Oh my God! Please, people!
Yes.
Thanks,
it is
Proto.
too early.
You're all good. I love my puns.
We have a $20 donation from Pry. Rayman was one of the first games I ever played, and seeing it get beat up is so satisfying. Thanks to everyone for making this event possible.
Yeah, I'm really beating them up with my fist for sure. Bruising them.
We have a $150 donation from Wilksy with no message. Spike Vegeta seems to be on his way out. We have a $7 donation from Nils72. Good luck with the Rayman run, Glackum. Don't miss a cage. We have $5 from Malth. Good luck with your run, Glackum, from the Fun House. We're all wishing you the best of luck.
Only have fun in the fun house.
We have $50 from Whuppy. Rayman was the first PC game I finished. Those final levels were awesome and taught me the satisfaction of finishing a game. Good times. Good luck with the run and thank you all for this event.
Yeah, one thing to note, the PC version is actually quite different with the cage locations. And
Yeah.
if you were running this on PC, you actually wouldn't have to fight Scops at all. This level and the next level and the last level, they're the only ones without return signs. Normally, if you in the PC version, which makes it a lot easier to play the game, I wouldn't say it's better,
Dang, dude, throwing shade.
but it person to person, it's definitely easier for sure. Running back there,
Once again,
hit that
triggering
cage.
that cage, yep. And if he does this right, he basically doesn't have to let go of right, even with these really jerk fish that are on here. A lot of these jumps here are very scary. Taking this damage boost to be able to phase through that bullet right there, and
There we
oh
go.
my gosh!
Oh my god, that screen. Oh,
Very nice.
Normally they intend for you. It's a lot more
the
of an auto
fish.
scroller.
Oh, the fish.
Yeah.
Ooh. Everybody I know dies like 20 million times on those fish. They will hunt you down.
That was such a nightmare screen for me. Final major level of the game. We need to get 6 more cages. They're actually all on this screen, which is like Glack was just saying. If you're playing on the PC version, you could have got all 6 cages and then hit the exit sign, then just leave.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, going for, a bit of a speed lock right there. Still looks cool.
Good enough.
Yeah, he got about half of it. Now he's going to try another one right here. Yes! Going to get another one right here to get all the way to this last cage. Big tether boost.
Just get hit here.
Set
It
himself
just
up.
kind of automatically hits it again for you. Like, the fist comes back the same time that you hit it.
Yeah. Make sure he turned left right here because the Cloud's actually going to move him into the spikes, setting himself up to then just damage boost and move through that area. And that is our 102nd cage, everyone. We have saved all the Electubes. Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
I think they could have just walked out.
We
those
definitely didn't
cages.
kill them for sure.
I saw someone go into the water.
I was about to say, yay, we said, oh, God, what are they doing? So, yeah, with that, again, you're playing on PC version, could have taken death right there and left because this game, all it cares, it does not care if you defeat the bosses. There was a boss earlier in the game, Mr. Sax, that we could have fought, but we didn't need to because there was an exit post on his first screen. All 6 cages were there. Be the same here. You wouldn't have to go through this fight with Mr. Scops.
So I'm going to teach you all how to do this. Like, maybe some people have problems falling on ledges. I know I did when I was a kid.
Show
So
us.
when you hit them, you can knock them back instantly. It's not really shown ever, but you can just punch him and he goes back instantly. So I'm just doing neutral jumps here and punching and then hovering back onto the platform. He does this 3 times and then you just move on. And that's much easier than trying to get on that platform because
Right.
his hitbox is really deadly close and he'll knock you 5 ways into Tuesday if you let him have the chance.
Hey, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, it is Tuesday.
So actually not that
it'll
far
be,
right
It'll
now.
be the other Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh, okay. It'll be after AGDQ.
Oh,
Gotta-
we're going back through time.
Oh, wow.
So I waited on him to get on that platform before me. He can get on that platform later than you, and he'll just knock you in the lava.
Yeah.
Even if you get hit here, he'll knock you far enough that you can't actually get to that end sign in time for it to insta-kill you. So this boss now, it's actually really easy. I could do this blindfolded. I've done it looking the other way.
should we do it?
All right, well, let's challenge him then. I was going to say he called it out.
I can still see.
Oh. That's all right. He does want to hold on a certain amount of his health for a trick coming up.
He's doing it.
Oh. Putting on the hovers, but that's okay.
I have to. I can't.
Do you need to see?
No.
No, no,
No.
he's-
Oh, you let go. But why?
I don't know.
I could have done it with 2 health.
I
I would have been fine.
I believe you.
All So he's going to have 1 health. Well, actually, yeah, he can get, 1 up, standing one right here. He wants to make sure he has more than 1 health right there, because that last hit when it comes up, it's the electric orbs that are following you. They're following your fist once again. So that's how you hit that boss. First time you get to that boss, you have no idea what's going on.
Please help
That
me.
was
Hurry.
good. That was good. I enjoyed it. All right, so now that he's beat all 17 levels, got all 102 cages, we can go to the final level of the game, Mr. Dark's Dare, Candy Chateau.
Dear Mario, I made a cake for you.
I love the little title cards. So you're riding on a frying pan on this cake-ish
Frosting?
platform. Yeah. He's trying to hit specific parts of the slope to gain as much speed as he can.
I slow down there because you can just fall straight into that pit. It'll just bounce you up. Just get a little hop there, and then hop there, and that's the end.
Yeah, the only time they want to try to actually kill you in this screen is right there at the end. You go into that orange goo, you're dead.
I heard they got this idea from the Sonic.
Jump over it.
From
Oh,
Sonic
close.
3. From this-
You can actually jump over the trigger that spawns Dark Rayman. I kind of wanted to show that off, but then you wouldn't get to see this glorious boy here. He will mimic everything you do to a T. If you're a task and you just super jump over the level, he'll super jump with you. So if I hit him, he's like lagged behind about a second-ish. He'll hit, if you let him have his way, he will hit you. You stand, he'll eventually get to you. And he will insta-kill you, no matter what. And that's not what we want. As long as we move forward, though, he won't hit us, really. Just, there are dead ends in this stage.
Right.
They'll expect you to,
Ooh.
oh, I let go too
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like, randomly you will still take a death to Dark Rayman. He's going to come up here. He's going to actually bounce off the wall, which resets his momentum, and now he can go. Again, moving in a specific way to spawn this exit sign and get him moving in the right direction. Now, right here, another curse is going to be put upon Rayman. It's actually going to swap his left and right controls. Not up and down, but left and right. So that definitely creates for a lot of awkwardness. Here we're going for Clown Skip, last major skip in the run. It's pretty difficult, a little finicky.
Oh,
Missed it
it's
twice
not playing
right there.
nice. Okay, there we go.
All right,
Okay,
nice.
we got
Got
it.
a third try. That skips over this entire section on the right side. And getting over that large clown is a lot more precise than it looks.
Yeah, the wall there will, the wall at the top of the ceiling, it looks invisible, but there's a ceiling there, and it will drop you down quick. So, okay, we avoided hanging there. That
nice.
saves like,
That's actually pretty tight as well.
and then like right over that like yellow there, it actually does switch it back to normal. If you're sliding off, you'll have no control, and you will have to try to adjust at the pit. So now he's changed my, I have no agency. I can only jump here.
Yep.
I can actually skip over a platform here.
Sets it up
Ooh,
with 2 big
okay,
jumps
there we
and
go.
able to clear that entire last slow.
That's really
level right there.
precise.
Yeah.
I'm happy I got that.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to clap for that. Yeah, let's go. We're rolling deep here. All right, guys, so time is going to be coming up here, and after this fight, still you're going to have like 2 minutes, so we got time. But the gimmick right here, this is Mr. Dark. He's taken away your ability to throw your fist, took away your punch power-up, which you can see there hanging on that rope up top. So from here, it's avoid his Kamehameha waves, avoid the fire. This is actually, it can be a pretty scary part because if you get like no iframes at all off of these different things that can damage you. So if you bounce off of something, usually you just recoil. See right there, he lost 2 health there in a quarter of a split second.
Sick burn.
You're doomed.
I'm doomed. The game ends here.
Yeah.
I think I'm just jealous because I'm not good at puns at all, and you guys are really, really fast at these. So right here, yeah, like you said, save like 1 million Electoons. 2 of them show up to help you there at the end.
It's about time.
But now he just pieces out. You never actually fight Mr. Dark.
I
You
think
instead fight
my theory is he actually transforms into these.
into these. Oh, okay. All right. So unfortunately, I only got 2 hits there on each of those.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have to be a 4 cycle instead of a 3.
I was hitting it too early, I think. This set here, this mix and match here, you can actually just you just constantly punch. I don't know why they're attacking.
Why they're
they don't do that normally. So
All right,
the
so how many
last one,
frame
this is
perfects?
frame
Yo.
perfect. This time's coming up, by the way. Oh, that was nice.
He just got a
triple.
double frame perfect couple of hits right there. Each time, yeah, it's on like the 58th or 59th frame. Ooh, a third, a
Oh.
fourth.
Oh!
Time. Oh my God,
Wow.
that was so good. Oh my
That was
God.
awesome.
Damn, that was great. I've never gotten 7 in a row. in one
Oh
run.
my
That was great.
God.
It's
Okay,
a
so
50-50 chance.
I know that went by so fast, but each of those hits he gets on the very final phase, each of them saves what, like 2.5 seconds? What do you think we decided the other
Yeah,
night?
something like that.
Around those, because normally you hit it once, it jumps up, it bounces you up in the air, it's really slow, or you can time it on a frame perfect hit after each of them and
good.
chain those together. Got the triple right
And
at
the
end.
quad.
And the
Yeah.
quad. Oh my God. All right, I've never seen a quad. That happened live at AGDQ. Glackum, that was an awesome run, man. Yeah.
Thanks,
so,
man.
Yes, dude. All right.
That
Yeah.
was really fun. I'm so glad that I was able to do this with you guys. I got like under what I was
120
hoping.
yeah, you were over for like the
121. That's
122.
like
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
good time.
And it was
That's a very good time.
No,
That's
no,
amazing
it went
time.
by so fast. No, yeah, 121.15, a minute 15 behind your PB. That was really good, guys.
Shout outs to the Funhouse for being there. Shout outs to the Rayman community. They've done so much for I've done very little. I've done some optimism, like a couple seconds.
Showcase the
every
game
now and
really
then.
well here, though. Yeah.
Shout outs to my friends and family. Shout outs to Thexterra, the world record holder,
Yep.
for being a bro, getting me motivated and everything.
Absolutely.
Shout outs
Competition
to my
of you
friends
guys
and
is
family
fun.
if I didn't do that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did it already.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's
they
early,
get
we're
two.
tired.
They get two.
Shouts to our pun crew right here. You guys holding down the fort.
I still run this game
Yeah.
all the time.
Shout out to Simple
I'm
Flips.
pretty pooped at this game after a week of doing it constantly. I've run this game no resets like 10, 20 times already this week. I still love this game. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah.
I call it quirky because I think it's quirky.
That's such a nice word for this game. Make sure to give him a follow, guys. Glackum. With that, I think we'll go ahead and move on, get to our next game and the goofy little character block we got right here. Dynamite Heady, I think, coming up. So, yeah. Good job, man. Enjoy.
That run was amazing.